Well, I'm Bear, and this is Alan. We're at Harrah's here in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and we come now to our main event featuring Tony Tubbs and Bruce Seldon, two guys who really are at a crossroads in their careers. Both men, of course, have aspirations to be a heavyweight champion. Tony Tubbs for the second time. Let's take a look at what these two fighters bring to the dance tonight.
Tony Tubbs is trying to reclaim a position in the heavyweight title chase. He showed last April that he could just about handle top contender Riddick Bowe. He showed that Tony Tubbs' boxing skill is of old, and in the minds of many, outboxed Bowe. But he did not get the win. Leon Taylor was much more manageable, and Tubbs overpowered the smaller heavyweight and got a much-needed win. And then Lionel Butler happened. Only Tyson had been able to stop Tubbs, but Butler shocked everyone by catching Tubbs early. It looked like a career ender, but Tubbs feels now he can come back, and he'll need to do it tonight against Bruce Seldon. Bruce Seldon is a young heavyweight who, like others, must keep winning and do so impressively to keep himself in line for a big money match. For his first 18 matches, he did nothing but win. John Morton was one of his victims as Seldon's Atlantic City Express kept rolling. He got his first big test against Jose Ribalta, and he had some rocky opening moments. Ribalta caught him early, and it looked like Bruce would never get up. But he did, and he came back to dominate Ribalta, and he would get a very important win. One that put him into another echelon, but then things turned south. A loss to Oliver McCall, and then this disaster against Riddick Bowe. Since then, he's put together 6 straight wins, and now it's time for another challenge. Tony Tubbs. He knows what he had to do to be ready for this match.
I would say put more time into the gym. You know, train a little harder, train a lot more, a little harder, and just dedicate myself more to the sport of boxing.
And being in the gym a little bit more is really a bottom line for Bruce Seldon. By his own admission, that was what was lacking. And this, as we said, is a crossroads fight. I'm not saying there's no tomorrow, but tomorrow's a lot longer away for the loser of this fight.
Well, he's put together 6 wins since his bout with Riddick Bowe, and in some of those wins has looked impressive and has had his moments. In some people have been critical of some of what he's done. He's a young man, though, and taking on Tony Tubbs, a fellow who gave Riddick Bowe literally all he could handle, and of course Bowe took care of Seldon rather easily. He is taking a risk. Even though Tony Tubbs was knocked out in the first round in his last bout, everyone knows that when Tony Tubbs is in shape, he's a formidable heavyweight. And I'll tell you what, he's in fairly good shape for this fight because his weight is down.
Yeah, he's been working with Lennox Lewis. In fact, your friend and my friend, Ollie Dunlap, has been working with him. He has been in the Poconos, and he has no excuses. I think this fight really will come down to who's right on this night.
That's exactly it, Barry. And also, we might take a look at what we think the keys to victory are. For Seldon, the jab is always important for him. He can't get countered because Tony Tubbs is very adept at countering a guy. Even though Seldon has the speed not to be countered, he'll have to use it. For Tubbs, he needs to catch Seldon switching. Of course, Bruce Seldon switches from lefty to righty a lot, and he feels he can do it. He must win the battle of the jabs. If there's a fighter around that Seldon has fought who can out-jab him, it would be Tubbs. So that would be a key for Tubbs to win.
So somebody's got to be the aggressor in this fight. Who's it going to be?
That's a good question. Both men kind of skirted the issue a little bit when we talked to them today. They said on occasion each might take that role. Both are by nature people that like to have boxers come to them. When Bruce Seldon was the aggressor against Riddick Bowe, it didn't work out too well for him. So I think it's going to be a chess match for the first couple of rounds to see who, in fact, will take the lead. And now we're just wondering who's going to come out and do this fight.
The chess match, I think, has already started, really. This is the old game, of course, where the champion will usually make the challenger cool his heels, and some terrific skills when we first started seeing him box. And for the most part, he has shown that, but there have been some lapses. And he's at a point now where he needs an impressive win. And, of course, tonight he gets a named opponent. And let's meet him now with Michael Butler.
Gentlemen, Top Rank Incorporated, in association with the undisputed, undefeated King of Beer, Budweiser, presents the featured bout of the evening. This bout is sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board, Boxing Commissioner Larry Hazard Sr., Chairman Jerry Gormley, Board members Gary Shaw and Richard Harrison, Deputy Commissioners Lawrence Wallace and R. Yogi Hiltner, physicians in attendance at ringside, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Frank B. Duggan, Dr. Eric Worms are in attendance, and Dr. Dominic Coletta Jr. The judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system are Lynn Carter, John Potteray, and Tommy Kazmarek. The timekeeper is Roosevelt Gilbert. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Harrah's, Atlantic City, let's get ready to rumble! 10 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. The referee for this contest is Randy Newman. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the white trunks with black trim and weighs in at an even 238 pounds. He's fighting out of Redondo Beach, California. His professional record, an outstanding one. 32 victories, only 4 defeats, 20 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the former heavyweight champion of the world, Tony TNT Tubbs. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with gold trim and weighing in at 227 pounds. He's from Atlantic City, New Jersey, ranked number 11 in the world by the WBO, with a professional record of 24-2, 20 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, the Atlantic City Express, Bruce Seldon.
The rules are much two things. Number one, defend yourselves at all times. Number two, obey my commands. Shake hands, brother.
So look at Bruce Seldon, who really does look all business tonight. And in the other corner, Tony Tubbs, who is in better shape certainly than he was against Lionel Butler. Fought at his best at about 228. Was a master boxer at his best.
When he was at the weight below 230, where he could move around a little bit, very clever man, very clever guy. And right away, they both start with the jab. It's so vital for each man to make the jab work for them. And what Bruce Seldon will see tonight is a quicker jab than he is used to seeing against him, because Bruce uses the jab as a key weapon. You can see Tony Tubbs is quick with that jab. This is as fast as I've seen him. Granted, it's very early in the bout. And he wants to take that jab right away from Bruce Seldon. And Bruce will have to do the same, or try to do the same. No one's yet done that to Seldon. Well, that's not really true. Oliver McCall does. See, there's a wild left hook by Seldon, and Tubbs looking to counter, but he missed.
Tubbs made the mistake, by his own admission, of getting into the slugfest with Lionel Butler. And even though he's a guy that I'm sure if they fought 10 times, Tubbs would probably win 9 of them. That time was the one that he didn't.
And Lionel Butler has deceptive power and has been boxing better. And so part of it was, I think Tubbs just didn't anticipate he could do what he did. So while it was something of a surprise, I'm not sure it was a total fluke, because Butler does have power. But no question, Tubbs was caught by surprise.
Seldon picking some of the jabs of Tubbs.
But this is a first round that Tony Tubbs would dream about. He's been able to land, not get hit, so far anyway. His jab is bothering Bruce Seldon right now. There's no question about that. Seldon is used to establishing his own jab, and now he's trying to do that. There's a good jab by Seldon. Well, this really boils down to who gets that jab off first, doesn't it? Because they both have good ones.
They're both very quick with them. And this has been a round of jabbage, if you will.
And occasionally an attempt at another kind of counter. Very, very interesting first round. Couple of, oh, nice right by Tubbs. It hurt him.
Seldon, down he goes. Perfect combination.
The jab set that up.
He really brings that right hand quickly behind the jab.
And that is what the problem is for Seldon. Look at how he mixes up his punches, too. Bruce Seldon is going to have to take some time to get himself collected, but instead he's walking right to Tubbs. I'm not sure that's going to work for him. Certainly Seldon showing courage in coming in, but you have to wonder.
Well, I think Tubbs also showing Seldon a little bit of respect here. Now, against Lionel Butler, as you mentioned, he tried to fight him, and he got whacked out. Now, that was a flash knockdown. I don't believe Seldon is hurt any longer, and I think in this case, Tubbs did the right thing.
Joe, look here. Let me tell you something, Bruce. Also, you coming in straight.
Okay, Joe.
Give them the angles coming in, okay? All right. Give them the angles coming in.
Put the bucket next to his leg.
Yeah, body.
Look up, Bruce. Right here, Nate. Right next to you.
Well, here's Tony Tubbs using the jab to set up the right hand. Seldon staggered there, and there's another one. You know, I would have first said it was more of a flash knockdown. I'm not sure, Barry, because I think the first right hand hurt him, see?
That was a good right hand.
He was hurt, and now the next one pushed him down. So I think Bruce Seldon was stunned by that right hand.
Yeah, I only saw the second one, actually. I didn't see the first one.
Yes, and that one made it look a little bit more like a flash knockdown. And of course, Bill Johnson. Man, look at the amount of jabs that Tony Tubbs landed. I'm even shocked by that number. I mean, not really surprised because he did land a lot, but that is special. And 13 out of 25 good for Seldon, but still, when you get 44 jabs landed against you, your jab is not going to be the dominant feature in a bout.
In Seldon's corner, they said you're coming right at him to jab. They want him, I guess, to come at a different angle.
And we asked who would come to whom in this bout. Look at what's happening. Tubbs is making Seldon come to him, and it's part of the reason why he's been able to counter him and do so effectively.
Well, at his best, there's no doubting Tony Tubbs' abilities. He's been his own worst enemy.
Yeah, both in conditioning and other things, obviously. And
never gave himself a chance against Tyson. Good left hand by Seldon.
Excellent left hook by Bruce Seldon. No, he didn't, because he wasn't in the greatest shape. Came right out, rushed Tyson, and tried to fight him.
Good left hand by Seldon again. Rocks Tubbs.
And a right. And Tubbs is holding on. So Bruce Seldon, more than weathering that first round now, showing he's got enough firepower to stun Tubbs.
And enough grit. We've seen him do it before.
This may be a shootout between two boxers, huh? Good right by Seldon. It would be more accurate, actually, to call these men boxer punchers. Certainly, both have shown power. Actually, Seldon, in some respects, has shown more power than Tubbs has over there.
Two very good left hands by Seldon. He really cranked both of them.
Randy Newman warning Tubbs for holding his head. Randy Newman, of course, in his day, a fine heavyweight. Tubbs holding his hands a lot lower now.
He's always had a tendency to drop that left hand, as you see right there, but he's dropping his right hand now, too.
That was the weirdest right hand to the body I've ever seen from Tubbs. Right hand to the body by Seldon, an excellent punch. Well, Bruce Seldon said today, when I saw him on the scale and he came in at 238, which for him isn't, for Tony Tubbs isn't too bad. He said, I knew he was serious and here to win this bout. But the jab of Tubbs now is just a pointing jab, although he may be trying to set up that right hand.
So each man now has taken a round. Tubbs took his just a little bit bigger. We'll be back.
Bruce Seldon had some good moments in that last round. Here he stuns Tony Tubbs a little bit with the left hook, then got him on the ropes and landed a couple of good shots. Good right to the body. But it was a round in which, by and large, Tony Tubbs did a lot of effective work, even though Bruce Seldon had his good moments, as I said.
You said Tony Tubbs came in here in shape. It is a relative term.
Yeah, that's true.
Through 2 rounds, you can see Tubbs has done a lot more business, but Seldon started to turn things a little bit in that last round.
Yeah, and the big edge in that first round has a lot to do with that huge edge. Nice right by Seldon over the low left hand of Tubbs.
And Tubbs also backing up a lot more.
And I wonder if the lead right hand by Seldon might start to become a very important weapon instead of just trying to set it up with the jab. That left hook certainly won't be the answer from way outside.
Those are mostly pushing punches by Tubbs. Each man has already felt the other's sting.
Pull his head down.
Tubbs languishing on the ropes, and Bruce Seldon would love to make something of that. Seldon doing a good defensive job here now. Blocking a lot of those punches, although that left hand got through at the end there. And the hand speed of Tubbs is a problem.
Yeah.
It's good. He's quick.
He is quick, but he's sure not doing as much as he was.
No, he's throwing fewer punches. Then Bruce Seldon isn't throwing that many either, is he? Good hook by Seldon. And you know, the memory of that Tubbs-Bowe fight implanted in my mind. That was a very difficult fight for Riddick Bowe. He won a very close decision, a disputed one. Some people thought it could have gone the other way. Since that bout, Tony Tubbs has had only 2 fights, beating Leon Taylor in his fight here on ESPN, and then that knockout loss to Butler. This is a round in which Seldon is not doing too much offensively, and it's going to cost him.
But Tubbs is doing equally or less.
Well, I don't know about less. I mean, I think the number of punches will be favoring Tubbs in this round, Barry, but not as much as he was doing.
Banks loan money to the people they know. That may be presidents, princes, a sheik or two, people with grand projects in faraway places. Or if it's Bank One, it can stay a little closer to home and be ready with whatever it takes for the day when the house gets one room too small.
Guys, it's beautiful.
$1 buys more truck at the all-new Park Cities Ford. All remaining 92 Ford full-size F-Series pickups. $1 over factory invoice. Over 175 92 liquidation units. $1 over factory invoice. XLT, super cabs, regular cabs. $1 over factory invoice. It's the final clearance. It's your final chance. Dial the hotline 358-8800. 358-8800. Shop the Park. Park Cities Ford, Inwood and Lemon, Dallas.
Here is a weapon that I think could really work for Bruce Seldon, the lead right hand. And boy, that one landed perfectly and pushed Tubbs against the rope.
And you can see the reason for it. Tony Tubbs keeping that left hand down at the bottom of his trunks.
Now, you talked about busyness. Tony Tubbs threw 90 punches in the first round, but only 56 in the third. So his number of punches has gone down. And there you see the example of it. Tubbs with a slight edge. I ended up making that round even. Such a close round.
But Tubbs has not been as effective a fighter since the first round. Full takedown. Step over toe hold could do it here.
Now, I will tell you that one thing Bruce Seldon certainly doesn't want to do, and will try not to do, is throw those wild left hooks, because Tubbs missed countering him there, but he might not miss the next time. So,
and on your card, it's interesting because I'm sure there are some watching this fight who might take exception with this, but you've given 2 rounds to Tubbs. The first round a 10-8 round.
Well, because he had the knockdown against Seldon. That was a 10-8 round. I gave Tubbs the second round, and I made the third round even. So even if you gave a round to Bruce Seldon, which you could have, the second or third possibly.
Continuing just to back up and look for a shot here.
Nice combination by Tubbs. That may have hurt Seldon. Boy, those were good body shots. That did hurt Seldon. Boy, he whipped those body shots in there. Those were as good body shots as Tony Tubbs has thrown in a long, long time. And there was a look on Bruce Seldon's face that told you that those were good shots. Some of those slapping punches are blocked by Tony Tubbs, but clearly the earlier ones got there. And whatever the case now, here in round 4 so far, Seldon has not thrown that many punches. He's been mostly taken.
Also following Tony Tubbs a lot.
Yes, and there's Seldon with the left hook. Again, that lead right hand that he landed so well in the third round might be the weapon that Seldon is looking for. Of course, it's easy to say from outside the ring, but still, I think he might do well to try and throw it, which he hasn't really done. Tubbs now trying to frustrate him by sticking his left hand on Seldon's face. Wasn't there that other heavyweight in the old days?
I remember
the
him.
quick guy that used to do that?
I remember him.
Muhammad something.
Yes.
It's been a good round for Tubbs.
Tubbs really working the body well in this round.
And in it, he threw the 2 best body shots he may have thrown in years.
So coming to the end of the 4th round, and as you said, a very good round for Tony Tubbs. We'll be back.
We always thought we knew a lot about Bud. Great taste, king of beers, that kind of stuff. But these guys...
Budweiser, it's Beechwood aged.
Whoa! Naturally carbonated.
Takes a long time to brew.
Where'd they learn this stuff? Some brewmaster information pipeline? Long forgotten, perhaps, deep in their collective subconscious?
No, I think it was on TV.
Here comes the king, here comes the big #1.
Main event here at Harrah's Atlantic City. Tony Tubbs and Bruce Seldon. And a reminder, college football coming your way Saturday, 4 o'clock. This should be a great game.
Excellent.
Florida State and Georgia Tech, a couple of pretty good quarterbacks, great athletes. Charlie Ward and Sean Jones square off in that game. Then it's Oklahoma at Colorado. And the Colorado quarterback, Ty Detmer's little brother, Coy Detmer, playing quarterback for Colorado. Done a pretty good job so far this year. They're 5-0.
Tony Tubbs on the attack. Excellent body shot. Then he will throw another right hand to the body here. Yeah, the left, and again, boy, he really worked that body more than I even imagined during that sequence.
Tony Tubbs started to walk away as the bell sounded. Now they meet the center of the ring.
Remember how important the jab was to Tony Tubbs early? Well, in this last round, he landed 21 of 38 jabs in the round 4. And there you see the total.
Yeah, Seldon doing a lot less in that round.
Only 34 punches. He landed at a very good percentage, Seldon, but very hard when you throw so many fewer.
Obviously, Seldon's corner told him you got to pick the pace up because he is throwing more punches in this round.
I think Tony Tubbs will try and back him up pretty soon. I feel that now Tubbs senses that he might be able to try and do that. We'll see. And maybe that would help Bruce Seldon. Maybe Seldon would do better fighting backwards. Remember, we said that neither of these men instinctively is the kind of guy that wants to come forward. It has turned out to be a bout in which Seldon has come forward. He told us, Bruce Seldon did, that he would have to at a certain point, but it happened pretty early in the bout.
Also said, though, that he wanted to get off first. And at least early in the fight, Tubbs was getting off quicker than Seldon.
At his best, Tony Tubbs is a very difficult man to hit, and while he may not be at his total best here, he is certainly showing that he's not that easy to hit. Slipping a lot, you see it there. Oh, nice body work. Tony Tubbs can punch to the body, and he's showing us tonight that he can. Which is also something, by the way, that Seldon, as he throws that left and right, I was just going to say, he has been noted as a good body puncher, and that wouldn't be a bad idea for him.
No, he actually, I think he hurt Tony Tubbs in the second round with body shots. He throws a couple there.
We've seen Seldon hurt men to the body often, and there you see, looking for it. And Tubbs, if he continues to languish on the ropes, will offer that option to Seldon. Seldon, however, will have to be concerned as he goes to the body not to get hit with a counter over the top. Tubbs, when he uses the jab more, is more effective. It's that simple. And on this round, he's starting to use it again. Oh, wonderful uppercut by Tubbs.
Three-punch combination, all got there.
He's not looking for that uppercut, Tubbs. This is a little closer round here. Seldon has pressed the attack, but I just don't know if he has done enough.
He is doing more in this round.
Yeah, and it's wonderful body work in the middle of the round. That was excellent, and I don't know if that was enough.
Coming to the end of round number 5 now. We're going to take you into the corner of Tony Tubbs between rounds. Not what you'd call an experienced corner here, incidentally.
Let go. Stay off the rope. You got to stay off the rope, okay? All right.
So you remember what happened here with Tubbs?
Yeah.
You know what they did to you?
Yeah.
This boy is from Atlantic City. You can't afford to give him nothing.
No.
All right? I know he ain't hitting you, he ain't hurting you, but just the fact that he's just sticking his hand out there, he'll give you points.
I got it.
All right? So don't get lazy on
Okay.
him. All right?
Don't get lazy. All right. Okay?
Start finding that right hand up the middle now. Around the side and up the middle. All right? He'll catch him. Don't go straight back.
5th round.
So he was more active.
A round in which I gave him the nod, and you can see he is starting to do more.
In the 5th round, there are the numbers, as we said, for Seldon. 48 punches, landed 26 of them.
Atlantic City, which is, of course, where we are, and their hint there was that Tony Tubbs might need to do a little bit more to win this bout. We'll see. These are certainly important rounds now, and very important to Bruce Seldon, because I really don't think you can look at this fight any other way but to say that he got off to a slow start. Lead right by Seldon, and I think that's a punch he really needs to use. There it is. See, that I said it early in the bout, and I'm telling you, Bruce Seldon can land that lead right hand.
And he did get there with a couple then. And Tony Tubbs fighting the kind of fight that's not going to impress judges right now.
Not right at this moment, no.
Under this, our main event. Bruce Seldon, black trunks with the orange stripe, gold stripe, and Tony Tubbs, white trunks, black stripe.
Bruce Seldon has tried to box Tony Tubbs using the jab and the straight right hand and the rest, and Tubbs has proven that he might be more adept at that style. So what Seldon probably needs to do is alter things a little, and that's what he's attempting to do. Throwing the lead right hands, now setting up for left hooks, kind of wading in. He's trying to change things up a little bit on Tubbs. It's probably a good idea on his part, but it's with mixed results.
One thing that you do have to say about Bruce Seldon, it's at this juncture of the fight that in the past, he has started to get a little bit tired, and he does not seem to be getting tired, at least right at the moment.
No, he's pressing the attack, throwing pretty good punches, but a very close round again. These will not be easy rounds for the judges. Of course, since I was completely off, I missed the last one by about 4 or 5 rounds. Take what I do with a grain of salt. Seldon now ripping some good shots. Now that's a posture maybe that will work for Seldon, coming in like that.
With more.
The lead right by Bruce Seldon again. Now it didn't land flush, but it did land against Tony Tubbs, and he's used that to some degree of effectiveness.
Seldon is starting to swing this fight, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, he might be, and maybe because of the fact that he's been pushing forward and been the aggressor. And because the judges here don't like counterpunchers, obviously. And there is, you see, that's not a huge margin in terms of numbers of punches for Tony Tubbs. And remember, a lot of it was built up in that first round.
Absolutely.
So could be a lot closer.
The jab of Tony Tubbs just gone south.
Well, he's not using it with a lot of steam as he was earlier, just flicking it out there.
And you still have Tubbs with a 4-point lead. Remember that 10-8 first round.
Yeah, that's part of the reason. Now there's Bruce Seldon doing some wonderful work on the inside. And that's the kind of thing that will alter that scoring, I assure you. And a couple of those rounds very, very close. I ended up giving them to Tubbs, but they could easily have gone to Bruce Seldon. But I just felt Tubbs had done specifically better work. But don't be surprised if this one's a lot closer. This is where, now Seldon's starting to do some good work on the inside. Ripping the body of Tubbs, and that is a place where he's had some success. Seldon's defense has been better against the jab and the right hand of Tubbs in the last couple of rounds.
Tubbs starting to look a little bit tired to me.
I think you're right, Baring. And this is a place where Bruce Seldon, who has shown, for instance, in the Mike Dixon fight, he showed a lot of stamina in the later rounds, won the later rounds. This is a place where he could erase, for instance, the stigma that some people had on him of a boxer who couldn't do well in the later rounds. He's been training up in the Catskills. They feel like he got away from Atlantic City where he knows too many people. It's easier to slough off training or go socialize.
That's what he said, too many distractions here at home.
So perhaps that will aid him. Certainly it has helped him, it looks like, be fresher here. Good body work by Seldon. And it's been a very good 7th round for Bruce Seldon. And the rap against Seldon was that he couldn't come back from adversity. And he's done it here so far.
He did it against Rebalta, too.
Yes, he did. But the Oliver McCall fight, now one of his best efforts. And of course, Bo whacked him out early, and that's where those things come from. But still, here he is showing a lot of grit and determination.
And Tubbs is letting him show it. So the combination of that could bode well for Bruce Seldon. Only kidding, but Dan and Bill will tell you all about it.
They sure will. And right here, Bruce Seldon is doing some excellent work against Tony Tubbs in what was one of his best rounds in about round 7. And certainly we are at a key juncture because Tony Tubbs has looked a little tired in the last round or two.
Just not doing enough.
And we'll see if all that training in the Catskills and the resolve of Seldon has an impact. See, now he is in there working well on the inside, getting left hooks in, rights to the body. This is where he wants to be.
In the 7th round, well, neither man really doing a whole lot, to tell you the truth, but Seldon doing a little bit more.
It wasn't a huge edge for Seldon, but certainly you'd have to give him the round.
Nice combination by Tubbs, best in a couple of rounds.
You wonder if there might be a point in this bout, and I don't know if he can, where Tony Tubbs might say, I want to go to him and back him up.
Yeah, you indicated that earlier, and yet he's fought the last probably 6 rounds.
And it might sound like a contradiction, because earlier I said, gee, the man that makes the other one come to him, it would be beneficial, and it was. But at a certain point, you wonder if a change in strategy might help you, because Bruce Seldon has been, at least has shown some effects from the power punches of Tubbs.
And you know, the thing is, and we've talked about this, but so much of judging a fight is perception. And I'm telling you, what Tony Tubbs is doing is not going to win a lot of votes.
I'll tell you what, it didn't help Tony Marshall in the last bout. And honestly, I really thought Tony Marshall, nothing against Julio Flores, who fought well and pressured him, but I thought Tony Marshall simply landed more punches. Punch profile certainly agreed with me, and he countered very well, but the judges didn't like it for whatever reason. And in this bout, your point is well taken, especially these last several rounds. Good left by Tubbs. The Seldon aggressiveness could very well be winning him the day here, or winning these rounds. And he is throwing some very nice shots to the body and the head, but there's where Seldon, I think, really needs to get to work. Tony Tubbs has really slowed his pace.
Really has, yeah. And that's making Seldon look like he's doing even more than he is.
See, that's where I think Tony Tubbs might want to think about trying to back Bruce Seldon up right there. When he hits him with that right hand, it stalls Seldon completely. And the feints of Tubbs now, oh, good hook by Seldon. The feints of Tubbs are making Bruce Seldon flinch because of that right hand.
Good body shot, Seldon.
Oh, that's where he's effective, I'll tell you. Those flurries on the inside when he's digging down and working the body of Tubbs.
Body shot by Tubbs. We head for the end of the 8th round, and you still have the feeling that it's there to be had. We'll be back.
Mom's car really sounds great.
I know. I just changed her spark plugs.
You changed her spark plugs?
Yep.
We start the 9th round. Bruce Seldon comes to the center of the ring. Tony Tubbs in the white, Seldon in the black. Seldon is starting to take the fight to Tubbs much more than he was, and just doing a little bit more. And another way of saying that may be that Tubbs is doing nothing.
Now, there's the total numbers, and yes, it's true that you have Tubbs ahead on punch profile by some 80 punches or so, but we once again would remind you that much of that was built up in the 1st and 2nd round, and it all depends on how many punches you land in specific rounds, because that's the way this fight is scored. Did I say scoring? Well, there's my scoring. I have Tubbs winning still 77-75, but Seldon narrowing the margin. Now Tubbs punching with a little authority.
Yes, he is, much as he did in the first round.
But he gets whacked with the right hand for his trouble. Right again by Seldon. There's only been 2 punches that have worked for him very well in this match. The jab has been nullified by Tubbs, but the left hook to the body and the head and the right lead right by Seldon have been his primary weapons.
Seldon just leaning, or rather Tubbs is leaning on Seldon. Tubbs is a tired fighter. I don't think there's any question about that.
And I think once the perception is there of a heavyweight when he's leaning and tired, whether the other guy's doing anything or not, I think it ends up making you lose rounds. Now there's Tubbs with a nice little combination. In terms of actual numbers of punches landed in this round, I'm not sure Tony Tubbs isn't doing a little bit better.
I think he may be.
But I don't know that he's going to get the round. Exactly. Maybe just by a smidgen. And it's not that Seldon hasn't mounted an attack here. He has. But he has not landed huge amounts of punches. And the one thing is he isn't facing the stiff Tubbs jab, is he? Got hit with the right hand, Seldon there, but it didn't do much damage. Seldon a little tired.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think both fighters are a little bit tired now.
This is a tough round to judge. This one could be the one on which this match turns, I'm telling you, because this is one of the toughest rounds to judge.
It could come down to the final round, actually.
Very easily.
So there'll be 3 minutes left, and those 3 minutes, as we said, could decide things here. Remember the keys to victory?
Well, for Seldon, I don't think he established it yet, but he has not gotten countered as much in the last 5 or 6 rounds as he wanted. He did not catch Seldon switching for one simple reason. Not once has Bruce Seldon gone to the lefty stance. He has won the battle of the jab, so it's been kind of a mixed bag for each man now.
Well, he won it early, but he really has kind of forgotten about it in the last few rounds.
Else but for you. This round is for you. All right.
That's what you're going to do, Bruce. 10th round. You win this round. This could be the fight.
Well, that's pretty much concurrent with what we said.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is round number 10.
Want to talk about the battle of the jabs again?
Well, I'll tell you what, Tubbs has landed 152 out of 313 jab. Seldon 91 out of 183. And you know, that's 50% of the jabs Seldon is landing, so that's good. It's just that he hasn't been able to throw it as much.
In the last round, again, the production basically down. Bruce Seldon's corner saying this could be it. You got to get it. It seems fair to me.
It could be. I would still rate Tubbs a slight edge, but it's very close. Well, on the break, Seldon hitting, and Randy Newman gives him a warning.
So on your card, it would take a knockdown for Seldon to even get a draw.
I still have Tubbs ahead by 2 points. I mean, and some of those rounds are very, very close.
Yeah,
so.
in fact, I know for a fact you scored at least 2 rounds even, and that's something you rarely
ever do. I hardly ever do. So to me, this is a very, very, very close fight. And the only thing that might be wrong in this bout would be if either man gained a real lopsided decision. That's probably where I have trouble with the previous fight, Marshall Flores, the margin. Tubbs working the body, being aggressive. And you do get the feeling whoever's aggressive in this round might be enough to tilt it. See, there's Tubbs pushing him back now, but he stops, doesn't he? And the feinting of Tubbs in the last couple rounds has been very effective, and he didn't do that so much in the middle round because it stops Seldon in his tracks when he feints. It also tells you that Seldon does have some respect for how Tubbs has whacked him here.
Well, Tubbs put him down in the first round, and that in itself could be the difference in this fight. Very close.
Hasn't been that much offense so far from Bruce Seldon here in round 10. 17 punches thrown by him. I'm sure if Tubbs has thrown more. And Tubbs, in fact, has thrown over 35 punches. Now, I don't know if Bruce Seldon can win this last round by throwing that few number of punches. And if he doesn't, can he win this decision? His body work. It hasn't been some dramatic domination by Tony Tubbs, but he has certainly thrown and landed more punches here in the 10th. I don't think there's much doubt about that.
Yeah, he's fought him in the 10th round.
Yeah, and even though he's moving backwards, he's throwing more. As you said, he's fought him. It's been a round unlike the last couple. Backing Seldon up, and then he stops, though.
Yeah, in fact, he stopped on that right hand. Seldon was right there for the right hand. He almost pulled it back.
He hit him with one and then could have probably thrown another. I think the lead right is there for Tubbs also, or right after the jab. Well, if the 10th round was the decider, it would have gone to Tubbs, in my opinion.
So we'll see. Close fight. Going to be very interesting to see how this fight is scored.
Well, it will be close. Neither man exactly throwing their arms up in victory. I don't think either man is certain that they won it. They're both tired. There you see Bruce Seldon. It's a difficult match. Very difficult match.
Well, hockey back on ESPN.
Right here on ESPN, where we've done such a good job with it. Seldon threw 26 punches in round 10 to Tubbs' 50. So.
All right, let's find out. Here's Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards here at Harrah's Atlantic City. Lynn Carter and Tommy Kaczmarek both score the bout in 97-92. John Potteray has it 98-91 for the winner. By unanimous decision, the former heavyweight champion, Tony TNT Tubbs.
Well, once again, you said the only thing that would surprise you was a wide disparagement in the scoring, and sure enough, that's what we got. 97-92 and 98-91. We'll talk with the winner after this.
Because of the way our power tape fits your hand, you could do this all day long. The Series 2000 from Lufkin.
These fans are warming up for the Super Bowl. They think they're a shoo-in to win Cooper Tools' free trip for 4. But every one of winners has an equal chance. Sign up where Cooper Tools are sold. And may the best team win.
When it's greasy and grimy enough to be thrown away, you need new Super Clean, the Tough Task Cleaner Degreaser from Castrol. Castrol Super Clean solubilizes grease, neutralizing its ability to stick, which is why it's more powerful than any leading brand. So maybe the only thing you should be throwing away is your old cleaner degreaser. If it won't come clean with Super Clean, it won't come clean.
It felt like the coldest day of the year. I was all alone with the kids. Then it happened. The heating went out.
Mommy, I'm cold.
I had to do something fast, and it had to be right. I called a Ream dealer. He was there in no time. He said he'd take care of the problem and went to work right away. Before long, we had heat. What could have been a very cold day in our lives was made right. Thanks to our Ream dealer.
You know it's right if it's Ream.
And that was dinner for our favorite food critic.
Tubbs is with Al.
All right, and a win, a deserved win for Tony Tubbs. Tony, quickly, we only got about a minute. This was a bout in which it was tough for you to go 10. You haven't gone 10 in a long time, but you did show fire in that 10th round.
Well, I figured I can put them together and had to win the rounds because mostly on the end, that's when they take it away from you. But I'd like to thank the Lord for me even getting this far, the commissioner for even letting me fight, through the trials I've been through. And Pappy and Ali and everybody in Lennox Lewis camp for getting me in shape. And I thank you.
All right, congratulations. A good win, Tony. Can you go on from here?
Yes.
All right.
All the way to the top.
All right, congratulations.
All right.
Tony Tubbs overcoming a lot of things, not the least of which was Bruce Seldon, to get a win. Let's go back downstairs now to my buddy, Barry Tompkins.
All right, thanks very much. So another upset, if you will. I think most of the people came here expecting Bruce Seldon to wind up on the long end of this one. It was not to be. And Tony Tubbs is the winner. He is, in fact, back. Perhaps a few problems, but not tonight. For Al Bernstein, I'm Barry Tompkins. We'll see you next week. Top Rank Boxing.